Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. I thought I would jump on today. It's Saturday, and so I usually jump on with a project. And so what I want to show you today is how to make a faux step card. Had to get that word out. Faux step card. So typically in a step card, it's a fancy fold card, and you are using your trimmer to cut and score to create the step. And it's always very confusing. If you're like me, who doesn't see things very well three-dimensionally, you might struggle with this kind of card and stay away from them. But this faux step card allows you to make it in two pieces. And so, at least for me, this is an easier way to make a step card. So I'm going to be using the new Hello Ladybug bundle from Stampin' Up. It is just so cute. You're going to love it. It wasn't something that I had on my radar, and then I started to see cards made from it. Isn't always the way that you don't realize you actually want it until you've seen some really adorable projects. All right, I'm just checking to see. I am live as far as I can tell. Yes, I am. So hopefully I can see comments if they come in. If you're here, let me know where you're coming from. Yeah, so I'm going to switch over to my desktop and I will show you the card that we're going to make, and we'll get started. All right, so this is the card. This is, like I said, it is a step card. So you can see that it stands like this, and I have used basic black, real red, and then this really cute buffalo check designer series paper is from the Pattern Party designer series paper, which is a host, one of the host products that you can get when you earn hostess rewards or Stampin' rewards on orders over $200 in Canada. And so I just love this. One side is all black and white on it, and the other side is all really pretty bright patterns. And so I've used the black and white. These ladybugs are just, there's no stamping with the exception of the sentiment on the front. And I've punched. So this bundle comes with a punch. And so I've punched it out of basic black for the bodies and red. And then it's probably hard to see. Those are not stamped dots. I have used the black matte dots to make the little dots on the the ladybugs. A little bit of a sentiment, some ribbon, and then on the back I've put a piece that you can actually do some writing on and stamp the ladybug and a bit of a sentiment. So thank you. Okay, I'm trying to see who's commenting. If you are coming in through Facebook, don't forget to go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and then you can give permission so I can actually see who the comments are coming in through StreamYard. But I'm on my Facebook group on my phone as well, so I can see Carol and Sonia and Sandy. Great. Okay, so let's get started. It makes it look like it's a tough card to make, but it really isn't. And you can see that typically a step card would be cut so that this is all one piece, but this is actually two pieces. You have this long piece that folds over, and then the smaller piece that kind of forms the card base. And in fact, this long piece it only goes to kind of ends about here, so you don't get that added bulk under here. So I will show you that. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is cut a piece of, let me grab my trimmer, basic black. And if I've done this already, this is cut 4 1/4. Fold that out by 9. All of the measurements I will be posting. Actually, we'll go live in a blog post tomorrow. So I will put the blog post underneath this video when it goes live, so that if you want the written instructions for this and the measurements, you can get them. But that will go live on my blog tomorrow. So again, 4 1/4 by 9. And you're going to score this at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, and 5 3/4. So again, 1 1/4, 2.5 and 5 3/4. Lynette. Okay, we've got that scored. And then the second piece we need for the base is, again, basic black, 2.5 by 9, and we're going to score this at 3.5. Okay, and that's, I think, all we need your trimmer and scoring tool for. Okay, so now we've got our piece, our main piece of our card base. Now I've gone ahead and cut out, let's get that, cut out the real red and the designer series paper. You can see how bright this, I think, is Crushed Curry or Bumblebee. So it's really bright colors on one side, and then all of them have black and white patterns on the other. Okay, so for the front, you're going to need a piece that is, so if you're going to do it with the 2 layers, you need a piece. So my real red is 3 inches by 4 inches, and then my designer series paper is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I've done that just because I wanted kind of that pop of red, but I didn't want a ton of red showing. So I'm going to adhere these down. Use whatever your favorite adhesive is. Mine still seems to be the liquid glue. All right, so that goes on like that. And then you need another piece. This is going to go at the bottom, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So the real red for this piece is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. And the designer series paper is 1 inch by 4 inches. And again, this will just layer on here like that. Get those glue drying here. It doesn't take long. Okay, so now that you've got this, you grab your bone folder, and you're going to make a mountain, and then a valley, and then a mountain. So if I bring in my card, this is the card base. So this bottom part here. So you're going to fold on the 1 1/4 inch fold to make a mountain peak, and then fold on the 2.5 to be a valley, and then on the 5 3/4 to be a mountain. So this is my 1 1/4 here at the bottom. So I'm going to fold that to be a mountain peak. So like that, and then fold this on itself. So now you can see my mountain and my valley, and I'm just going to burnish that really well. And then the last one is folding on this score line, and it's going to be a mountain. And if you just kind of get it all together, lined up, and then you can give all of these pieces a really good burnish with your bone folder. So again, this was my 1 1/4 inch score line. So this top, so this is the mountain at 1 1/4. This is the valley at 2.5, and then the mountain at 5 3/4. So you end up with a card base that looks like that, and it will sit nicely. And we're going to just start adhering these pieces that we've put together on. So this piece goes on the bottom flap. So this is the front that you'll see. And then this piece goes, so there's nothing in this middle flap. This piece goes on this big section here at the back. We're just going to put that on like that. Okay, so now we've got our basic card base, and it's going to stand like that. So we've got the front. Now it's time to bring in this other piece of basic black that we cut. So again, this was cut 2.5 by 9 and scored at 3.5. So we're going to fold this on that 3.5. So it forms a mountain. And this piece will now adhere. So if you take this piece, fold it on its score line, and then take it and put it on. You can actually do this. It doesn't have to be a center. You can actually move it to one side. I'm going to do mine as a center fold or a center step. And so we're going to adhere this to this bottom flap and then on the back. I'm going to use tear and tape adhesive for this just because I want some strength to it. So I'm only going to put a piece of tear and tape adhesive on this bottom where it adheres to the bottom of my card, and then along this edge, so the other end where it adheres to the back of my card. You can use liquid glue, you could use Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus. I just think that for this, where your card is going to move around, the tear and tape just works a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to take this and you're going to line it up. So I'm going to just open this up for a minute, just make sure that doesn't adhere down. Line it up with the very bottom. So you want this piece lined up in the center. If you're doing a center step, lined up with the bottom of your card, and then just press that into place. And then you can fold your card back into its shape, fold this over, and adhere that down. You could do this so it goes all the way to this edge if you wanted to. You don't really need the bulk back here, which is why I cut it to 9 inches, and it's got lots of it's adhered really well, so you don't really need that there. Okay, so now we've got the front of our card almost done. We have another piece of Real Red and Designer Series paper. So this one is cut. The Real Red is 2 3/8 by 5 3/8, and the Designer Series paper is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So look at that again. All right, and so this piece adheres on like that. And then this piece, oopsie, that's why I like my liquid. It gives me just a little bit of wiggle room. And then this will adhere to the front of your card. Like this. Again, I'm just having that little peak of Real Red on here. Okay, that's the front of the card done, or the base done. So now we're going to make our ladybugs. So this is the punch. Hard to see. So you have a body and the wings. You can do this in any color. Now I am going to take my black. So there are stamps that you can actually stamp this on basic white and make your ladybugs that way and then punch them out. I actually am just going to punch it right out of basic black. So just take a piece of basic black and slide it in and cut out 2 of the ladybug bodies, to be clear. And then I've got a piece of Real Red, and I'm going to slide it in from the side, and I'm going to cut 2 of the wings. And I'm doing it this way just because I find it easier to see where I'm sliding my paper in. There. So you need 1 body and 1 wing. So I've got my body and my wing. These go like, so they go, the wings go down. And I'm actually just going to use glue dots. You can use adhesive, but I'm going to just use glue dots to adhere my wings on to the body. So line it up with the kind of circle. And 2 more glue dots. Oops, get the glue dot. And again, line it up with the top. Okay, now these are what's all I've got left of my black matte dots. I'm going to have to order some more, but there are also classic matte dots in the mini catalog, so I've got some of those, but I kind of like the size of these ones. So I'm going to put a bunch of, I think I put 4 on each wing, so you don't have to do that many, but I kind of like the look of it. So you could stamp these on as well. I just thought the classic matte or the black dots just give it a little bit of extra. Definitely uses a fair number of embellishments if you don't want to do it that way, but they look so cute. All right. Okay, let's make sure I have enough here. All right, I have to dig. I think I've got some that are stuck here. I wonder if I can get them off. There's one. Definitely, we're going to have to put this on my order. Oopsie. Trying to get the big ones. I've got some little ones in there that are on the plastic. These have come off of the plastic, so I'm just trying to get them off here. There's two. Come on. Three. Whew, just enough to make this. Next order. Black matte dots. Okay, there we go. There. All right, so I've got my two ladybugs. That's as easy as it is. Oh gosh, the punch makes it so easy. And I'm just going to use some of the large dimensionals to adhere this on. The cool part about this card is it, like a step card, it will fit into a regular envelope. So you don't have to worry about that. It might be a little thick, so you might, depending on where you're mailing, and it might be a little thick to, and you might have to put some extra postage on it. So you might think about whether you want to use the dimensionals. All right, so there's my ladybugs. Now I have some of this. This is the faux linen ribbon that is in the mini catalog, the current mini catalog. So I'm just going to wrap it around and I'm going to tie a bow. So I want to make sure I leave myself, hopefully that's enough. I don't like to jip myself when I'm tying it. Now I'm going to tie a bow down here at the bottom. So this, I want this kind of right up against the base of the card. Now, when you're tying a bow, I've learned this. I always used to get frustrated because when I was trying to tie a bow, my tails were always going in the wrong direction. This is the bottom of my card, and I want the tails to go towards the bottom. So the trick to this is to turn your card upside down. So now I've got, this is the bottom of my card, it's at the top. So now you're going to tie it. So you want to always keep this tail pointing to the bottom. So turn this under like you're going to tie. This is your first part of the bow. And then wrap this around, tie your bow. You might tie your bows differently. Maybe you use the bunny ear technique. I'm not very good at that. But the trick with this is you now have both tails of your bow facing the bottom of your card and not one at the bottom and one at the top. So now you've got this and you can actually fuss with it until you get the bow the right size. And this one is not wanting to do. It's a little longer than I want. Okay. All right, there we go. So I've got my tails facing down. And then make sure it's tight to keep it in place. And then you can trim your tails off like that. Okay, one last thing for the front of the card is the sentiment. And I had at some point this morning, oh, here it is, the Tuxedo Black Memento. So we're going to stamp. You can bug me anytime on this. I thought that was really cute. Is that it? Yeah. So this piece for the sentiment is cut. Where did I write that down? I didn't. Okay, this piece, I've got a piece of real red that is cut 1/2 inch by about 2.5. And then this piece of basic white that I'm going to stamp on is 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/8. So we're just going to stamp this. The fact that this is photopolymer makes it easy to be stamping on these little pieces. If this was a rubber stamp, it wouldn't make this really easy when you're trying to stamp it on such a tiny little piece. But because I can see through it, it makes it pretty easy to line it up. Okay, and now I'm going to use some, these are the black mini dimensionals, but they're the ones I've got handy. So we will use these. So again, more layers, but I've already got lots of layers on here now. So then this goes on to this real red piece like that. And we might as well pop up the real red too, because we're on a roll with popping stuff up. All right, there we go. So this will go right down here at the bottom. Get it even. There. So that's the front of the card. Isn't it cute? Gosh, I just think this is so cute, this ladybug. All right, one last thing that you want to do. So this is going to go on the back so that you can write a sentiment. So this piece of real red is 3 inches by 4 inches. And then the piece of basic white, which is the layer, is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to take this. You can do whatever you want. There's this cute little ladybug, although you don't typically see ladybug with feet, at least in my experience, but this one has feet on it. Usually when I see a ladybug, they're flying around and then land on you. I always thought that was good luck when I was a kid. I'm not sure. Okay, so now we're going to stamp this ladybug right down in the corner. He's so cute. She's so cute. I think it was always a she. I don't know. There must be he ladybugs. I don't know if they're called ladybugs if they're he, but anyway, there we go. Okay, and then this. Who wouldn't want a card like this to arrive for them? Gosh, I don't think this just has to be a kid card. It's just so cute. Okay, so there we go. And now this piece, cap on my glue. And this is going to go on the back, and it's going to cover up that overlap. So it's going to hold your front piece even more, because now we've got something on top of it. So you're not seeing that this piece that folded over from the front actually was shorter than the full card. All right, there you go. So cute, stands up really cute. So you can see that's your step part, and then your main card base. Oops. And then the front. Just makes me smile. It's kind of like the rainbow suite. Makes me smile every time I see it. So okay, there we go. So I hope you'll try this out, this faux step card. Again, this card is going to go live on my blog tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific. So the written instructions and the measurements and the supply list for this card will be there, and the link to this video. So if you find yourself over on my blog, you'll be able to get back to this video from there as well. And if you get over to my blog, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, so you get notified when I send newsletters out with tutorials and things in them. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. I will be back live tomorrow at 12 noon with a card to show you, and I hope you join me then. Thanks, everybody. Happy stamping. Enjoy your day.